make that stop wiggling. Good morning, everyone. Happy December 1st. It's December. My goodness gracious, Christmas is right around the corner. If you are new here, my name is Sandra Waldrop. You are watching Kingdom Makers, and this is my segment on craft round the clock. It's been all things merry and bright. It has. All the crafting has been just so beautiful. All the Christmas themes. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Loving it. And I'm just going to continue on that trend because I love Christmas, and you can see videos back into the summer, and I've been on the Christmas train for quite some time now. Good morning, Miss Stacy. So today we are going to be working on my tree. You can see that I've got a very eclectic tree going, right? I've got a lot of different things going on, and that is because to me, a Christmas tree is a feeling of nostalgia. It's a feeling of tradition. It is a collection of memories over the years. Good morning, Diane. So I've got precious little snowman. I mean, look at this bright red snowman. Let me just see if I can pull him off of the tree right here. Okay, on the back it says Ryan, 2009. In 2009, my son, Ryan, let's see, he was born in 2005, so he was only 4 years old. This is his 4 years old snowman. This is a 16-year-old snowman, and because my son is 20 now, 20 years old, and so I am so blessed to have this just sweet little snowman here. And just a collection of memories like that. Precious little mice that my daughter made in pre-K. Little handprints. You can see down here handprints. Good morning, Miss Tracy and Miss Zimmy Simple Designs. How are y'all? But of course, with me, I want to add a little bit of my own flair. So we're going to do that today. This year I'm doing a two-part theme. Okay, I'm going to share with you the first part today, and that is tins. Okay, we are doing tins in our tree this year, and so I've got my vintage Toll House cookies tin. I've had this probably for upwards of 10 years. I don't remember where I got it from. I think I got it from either a yard sale or a thrift store. Not really sure. Good morning. Oh, good evening from England. Hello, English Cottage Crafts. How are you? Belle's Creative Studio. Good morning, Just Jackie. Good morning, Jackie. How are you? So, and then I got this new one. Let me just pull this one out and show you guys this precious little tin. My husband took me shopping. There's this place at our mall called The Horde, and it is an antique mall inside of our mall. Okay, so there's, I don't know, maybe upwards of 50 vendors, I want to say, in there with all these little antique and vintage booths with, you know, their collection of all these treasures. And so I was able to find a Christmas present for my sweet little nephew, my little 1-year-old nephew, and I found this for myself. My husband took me for our anniversary outing because he's just a sweetie like that. Oh, Diane, oh, I'm so happy. Good afternoon. Oh, thanks for being here, Miss Joellen. Welcome. I am in Texas, so we are way across the country from you over there in Maine, but welcome on in. I am so happy to have you. Okay, it was buffering on Craft Round the Clock. Okay. You do need to go, Erin. You need to go because you will get lost in there. You'll get lost. They have some really beautiful things, and okay, you're gonna stay in there. And that is just how I'm placing these items in my tree. These tins, I just kind of wrap the branches. I have a fake tree, so I can bend and make it go. Hello, Miss Kathleen. Oh, I love you too. So we are working on a faux tin today, okay? I've got my little tin here that I used for Thanksgiving. We eat hominy casserole, okay? I'm from southern New Mexico originally, and everybody that was here was like, what is this delicious craziness? And it's literally just hominy with sour cream, green chili, and some spices, and a bunch of cheese, okay? So good, so good. So I used the canned hominy, and I saved my cans. Oh, welcome, Tees Crafty Ranch. You are Central Texas. Okay, I am south of Houston. Hello, Miss Kim. Who did I miss? I missed some. Oh, hello, Miss Lori. How are you? So, in just about 6,500 miles away. Okay. Yes, you are. You are a good ways away from me. Oh, I love hominy, Jackie. I love it. So this is a multi-step craft, so I'm going to just jump right into it. We are going to be covering my tin with some scrapbook paper. I was going to say craft paper, but it's scrapbook paper that I was gifted, like stacks of craft book paper, scrapbook paper. And I was going through it this morning looking for some fun Christmas paper, and I found a lot of really precious Christmas paper, but I wanted that vintagey feel. And this is the label I'm going with. I got this little label off of Etsy, this design with the mice. And I was going through my my scrapbook paper, and I found a sheet of this suitcase, this vintage suitcase paper, and I was like, oh my gosh, if that does not scream Stuart Little with the mice and the suitcases, I don't know what. It's so cute. Oh, thanks, Natalie. So I'm going to use my coffee podge. This is Miss Tracy's recipe for coffee podge. The only difference is that I can't get mine open. I might need somebody stronger and wiser, smarter than me to open that. And then if we can't get that open, I might just use my Mod Podge. I really want to use it's not going. Okay. I think he's in the shower. My 20-year-old son, he's got the muscles, but I think he's in the shower. We're going to have to go with the Mod Podge. Good morning, Miss Pat. How are you? So I'm just going to go over this. I've already cut my scrapbook paper to fit because I want to make sure that we have enough time, because we will be making cookies to go with. Oh, you got it. Yay. Yay. Okay. I will put my Mod Podge away. There's the lid. It's all full of glitter now anyways, thanks to some little people that I know. Anytime we have anybody over, my daughter, my youngest one, she was like, can we go craft? Yes, Stuart Little is. Oh, I love Stuart Little so much. So they go back there and they play with the glitter and the glue and the papers and the everything. And so my craft room is always a mess. Not just from them, from me too. I can't let them take all the blame, but now my Mod Podge has glitter in it, and I don't use a lot of glitter. I don't. It has to be a very specific reason that I'm using glitter. The craft has to be for like maybe an event or something that warrants glitter. Okay, so the sheet did not wrap all the way around my tin, so I just cut an extra little scrap here to go and fill that little void. And I'm going to take it all the way over, and it might be a little stiff. I know we're going to have to probably goof it up quite a bit because scrapbook paper can be pretty stiff. I've done a similar craft with fabric. So if you have fabric you would like to use, that would work very well on this as well. And I'm just kind of pushing it down, letting that coffee podge soften the paper and really get a good adhesion. Is that a word? Adhesion? I don't know. I don't know. But if it's not, I'm making it a word. The English language is a living language. That means it's going to change over time. So I'm allowed to make up my own words if I want to. That's what I've decided. That's just me making executive decisions over here. But I think it is a word. Okay. So I've got my little insert going. You know when you like wrap a present and you didn't cut it just right and you have to cut that extra strip. I'm getting all kinds of messy over here, y'all. Just using my fingers. That's all right. I don't ever have a chance of staying clean in these lives ever. So I've decided to just embrace it and enjoy the mess. So there's my little insert going, and I've got stuff. Yes. Do you need me? Oh, the step stool is in my closet, my love. I needed it this morning. Things are up high. Now she's suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. We had our elf arrive today. We have a few different types. Okay, that's upside down. No, that was correct. These are going in all different ways. I'm trying to decide which way's up and which way's down. It is a word. Thank you, Miss Kim. I'm thinking that way's up. So we had our elves arrive this morning, and we are very excited. Now, the only issue is that my elf likes to sleep at night and doesn't move every day sometimes. Okay. We have the same situation with the tooth fairy. She gets caught in a lot of hurricanes and things. Yes, it does. Oh, good. I thought it was a word. I knew I couldn't be, but I do just make up words sometimes too. All right. I'm thinking, okay, I can still feel it kind of bubbly up. I'm just going to push, kind of feed it around, kind of get it all squished on there. It's already looking good, right? It's looking good. Now you're worried about the inside. Don't worry, okay? I've got a couple of Walmart bags in there, filling it up. And after we get this to where it's sticking down, I'm gonna let it sit for a minute while we construct some cookies. We'll get some cookies going. Y'all, this is such a fun and easy craft, and it's such a fun way to kind of give your tree a you feel without compromising the homemade elements of your tree, right? Yes, Jackie, hurricanes. Our tooth fairy gets caught in hurricanes. She's very unreliable, very unreliable. And our elves like to sleep at night. They don't get up and make all kinds of mischief. We are too noisy during the day. We keep them up. So it's not that exciting over here with the elf situation. Listen, this might be bad, okay? You guys tell me if this is wrong. I told my kids, the tooth fairy only gives a quarter for a tooth, okay, in this house. The tooth fairy gives a quarter, but mom pays a full $1 during normal business hours. Okay. So, is that bad? If our tooth fairy were more reliable, they would probably take the quarter. But my daughter informed me that about inflation. Okay, she lost a tooth the other day. She's 10 now, so she's losing, the older kid teeth. And she was like, listen, this tooth is worth $5. Okay, those little baby front teeth ones, that was fine, $1, but inflation is happening, and now it's $5 for these teeth. Okay, if not, I'll take the quarter from the tooth fairy. I was like, she knows. She's on to me. Mama needs her sleep. All right. Mama needs her sleep. I have people who, they just don't sleep. They can't sleep. They have an inability to sleep. I am very blessed in that I can stay up late and wake up early and feel fine. But it's because when I put my phone down and I decide it's time for bed, I am out. Okay. I just phone down on the side table and I'm gone. I've had people try to call me in the middle of the night. I never hear my phone. It doesn't happen. All right. So I'm going to let that sit for a minute to absorb all of that podgy goodness, okay, and kind of dry it up a little bit before we layer more stuff on it, okay. Now I want to work on my cookies, okay. We're going to work on cookies for this tin, and I'm just using the Crayola Model Magic. Okay, I'm just going to pull out a little bit more than that. I want to have, kids are very smart. Yes, Miss Donna. Mine knows. She's very knowledgeable about all the things. When she was younger, I'm just going to go ahead and knead this to kind of get it all primed up for use so it doesn't crack the clay when it dries. But when she was younger, we were like, Santa Claus and, all that stuff. And her best friend in their family, they don't do Santa Claus. And her best friend's mom told her, we don't tell other people, but you know. And every time Arabella would come home after spending time with her best friend, she'd be like, Mom, McKenna doesn't believe in Santa Claus. And I just told my friend, about this recently. And she's like, that little stinker, I told her not to say anything. I was like, literally every time it came up, she'd be like, yeah, there's no Santa. Hi. So, it's a little stinker. So I just put some of this light mocha from Apple Barrel into the Crayola Model Magic, and I'm just kneading it in till the color is all incorporated, because I want my cookies to look like dough that's been baked, right? So with that, cookies usually come out of the oven with different color shades throughout, right? You've got the crispy on the edges, brown on the edges, a little darker on top, etc., etc. So I'm just gonna show you how I did this. I did make some already, and I've got a little bit of dough that I've already mixed. I'm just gonna incorporate that into this mixture as well, just so I can use that up also. We'll get this going. It is cold today, guys. It is cold. I don't know if you've noticed, but I am dressed for the weather. Let me just give this one more. Got some gunk over here. It's okay if you get little tidbits of whatever in your clay, because we're gonna sprinkle this and do little things. I pulled this little pesto jar out from my laundry room where I have just a bucket of glass jars that we're saving for different crafting shenanigans. Okay. All right. So I've got that rolled out. Not extremely thin. You want your cookies to have some meat, right? Because they're not going to puff up anymore than what you're doing. So if you want a thicker cookie, more power to you. Okay. And we're just going to cut and cut and cut some cookies. Okay. Just pull up the excess. And okay, it's misshapen right now, but it takes nothing just to round it back out with your fingers and smush it down and continue to shape it. Okay. You don't want them perfectly cut, because then they don't look as authentic, in my opinion. I like them to look homemade cookie-ish, right? Not necessarily, even, you know what, even the pre-cut ones from the store that have like the Santa face on them, or the Christmas trees or whatever, you know which ones I'm talking about. Those ones don't ever come out round. They always come out kind of square, right? All right. That one. If your dough touches back on itself, it will stick. It will stick. It's fine. You just tuck it back on under, and the whole point of using the cutter is mostly to get them kind of around the same size, right? See. Oh, I see Nani is watching. Good morning, Nani. So we've got these 4 here. And then before the live started, I had done 3 more over here. So that gives us 7 cookies. I may need a few more than that. I don't know. But we're just going to keep on rolling with it. I'm just going to take kind of a stiff brush. I've got this one from Dollar Tree. You could use a chippy brush. You could even use like a fork, whatever. I just kind of want to rough this up a bit and give it kind of like the tea cookie look. Just kind of. Hi, Miss Janet. How are you? So I'm just kind of dabbing it a bit with that dry brush. There's nothing on my brush right now. I'm just dabbing it to get the texture. We're just texturizing these cookies. All right. You're fine, baby. You're fine. My daughter's apologizing for existing while I'm live. Listen, I'm very blessed to live in a house with other people, and dogs and cats and rabbits and a turkey and ducks and chickens and horses and a cow. And I'm sure there's other creatures I don't even know living here. Yes, please. And that means that it will never be absolutely silent in this house. And I am so immensely blessed because of that. Right? Good morning, Miss Jan. So I make no apologies for the crash bang booms, because it's just evidence of a blessed life, right? Good morning, Miss Lori. Lavender and Lace, how are you? Okay. So I've got these guys. I don't know if y'all can see pretty well here. it's in my comments for me, so it's hard for me to see, but I can see them on the table, okay? I'm just going to use a little bit of that coffee podge. Oh, I started to say earlier, I use Miss Tracy's recipe for my coffee podge, but what I had on hand was clear school glue instead of the white, and so I just used that. And so mine does look a little different than hers, but it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so I'm just coffee podging over the tops of all of these and giving them a nice little glaze right there. Okay, just a light glaze. Okay, you kind of want it to pull up around those edges though, just like it would give, the oven would give a like a darker shade from the oven. Okay, there we go. So lots of cute little nice things going on coming to my brain when I think of this. I think of like when you give a mouse a cookie, Stuart Little, all that stuff, all very cute, Christmassy. It is a fabulous zoo, Miss Julie. Oh my goodness gracious. It is. It absolutely is. Okay, now I'm going to give these a sprinkle of cinnamon, okay, because I want them to kind of have a little bit of a snickerdoodle-ish look. Okay. And I don't care that I'm making a mess. I will likely clean it up at some point. It'll be fine. It won't be promptly after this live though, because we have an appointment in a town closer to Houston. My little one has had an issue with her tonsils and adenoids since like June 1st. She started coughing. We went camping at Garner State Park June 1st, woke up that first day of June and she had this cough, and it's just never, I mean, the cough itself has gotten better, but she's been snoring at night, having issues with all of that. And so, yes, it is a fantastic story. So I took her to the ENT already. We were trying to give her some time to see if she would improve, and now it's worse. It's only gotten worse. She's coughing again. I'm like, okay, I've done everything herbally I know to do. I'm using the instant coffee. I've given her all sorts of herbal things, trying to cure this situation holistically, because that's just who I am as a person. We don't hardly do synthetic medications, but sometimes you just have to know when to throw in the towel and say, okay, the doctor is gonna fix her up. So we're looking forward to hearing her breathe peacefully at night, not having to worry about cavities forming from mouth breathing, all that stuff. So if y'all just keep her in your prayers, and my mama heart, and my ego, keep my ego in your prayers, because I am very much the person that's like, oh, we can cure just about anything with herbs. And now here I am. Never say never. That's all I have to say. Never say never, because sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And when it's your baby, that you're just going to do what you got to do. Right? Okay. So I'm just going to give this another little touch of that podge, that little coffee podge there. It's a little bit. Okay. Stick that back in there. And now I'm going to give these just a little sprinkle of Epsom salt for that sugary look. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Tina. Hello there, Mama B. Thank you, English Cottage Crafts. I appreciate it. I appreciate that so much. Prayers of the righteous availeth much. So that's what I'm counting on. All right, so I've got Epsom salts going on here to give us that sugar look. You know, snickerdoodles have sugar on top, the cinnamon sugar on top, and I'm just giving that on there, and then we'll just set these off to the side to dry, and we will get back to our, what time is it? Okay, still have a little over 15 more minutes to finish up my little tin. Extra little Epsom salts on there. Okay, I'm just gonna set these off to the side to dry. Aren't they cute though? Look at that. Let me give you a close-up. Thank you, love. Wow, you made me a lot of food. My little one's been over there cooking up a storm for me. Right before I went live, my stomach signaled starvation is imminent. I was like, oh man. And we have to leave right after this for our appointment, her appointment. So she graciously made me some eggs and mixed in some Thanksgiving leftover deliciousness. We will eat up them leftovers, y'all. We are not much for leftovers any other time of the year, but after you spend $1 million on Thanksgiving food, thank you, Miss Jackie. After you spend that much money on Thanksgiving feasting and you have all them leftovers, it's like, kids, you better be eating that up. You'll be eating it up. You made sure it wasn't poison? Good. She had to check it for poison. We watched this YouTube lady. I can't remember her name. What is her name? I don't know. She always does liquid chicken, and she does like a lot of the homemade stuff, like Little Debbie things and all that. Thank you, Miss Kim. And thank you, English Cottage Crafts. All right, back to our tin. So I've got this seam back here. I'm going to move it to the back, and I'm going to put on my sweet little mouse people. It says Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Okay. I'm just going to, again, use my Hodge here. I printed this out on regular paper, and then I just went over the whole thing with my coffee grunge. Okay. And then I just tore it. I just tore it so that I could get that nice vintagey torn look to the edges. There are occasions where I do like a nice straight edge, but I really do like the torn look also. All right, so I'm just gonna center that on there. And then any excess that's around, I'm just gonna kind of smoosh it. Very technical term there, smooshing. Okay. Smoosh it around with your finger. Give it a good little adhesion. All right. Help it adhere to the paper below, behind, beneath. For a woman who has taught writing for years and took a great many college level classes in writing at New Mexico State University, you would think I would have better vocabulary. Okay. Isn't that precious. Oh my gosh. I'm loving the mice on that background. I love it so much. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to move one cookie off of my hot glue gun and hopefully be able to pull it out under the mess, because here's the thing. When I got everything out this morning, I knew I wanted to be near my tree so that I could show you all the magnificence of my sweet son's little handprint and all the things. And that's just really my heart right there. But so I got these little tables, these little TV trays, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it work with this. Y'all, I just have stuff piled up. I have stuff just piled on. Okay, move that off to the side. All right, if you wanted to add more stuff to this, I would wait until it's dry, which I will likely do. Once these are dry, I will go back with some ink. I don't have like the fancy inks. This is an ink pad from Dollar Tree, just a black ink pad, and then I just use like the little makeup brush to go around the edges. That is what I will do to darken those edges and make them look crispy on the back side as well. So it looks like, you know, it got baked, because the back side is just, you know, it's just clay looking. So I will be doing that. But now I want to add my little bit of twine that I've got going on over here. I want to give it a border. Now you could do the twine, or if you are a fancy schmancy person, okay? I want to be fancy. I really do. Thank you, Miss Kim. Thank you, guys. English Cottage Crafts. What is your name, English Cottage Crafts? I've seen you in my comments before. I've seen you around, and I am struggling. I'm just on the struggle bus. Probably because I'm in starvation. The Starvationaries. Anyways. These molds. I got these off of Amazon, and look at how pretty. This would, like, wouldn't that be so gorgeous with one of these little smaller borders? You could even do some of these cutesy things on it. I wouldn't do it with this design, but doing one of these tins, if you wanted to do a clay border on it, that would look so cute. And you would just adhere it with like some Tite Bond, and some hot glue, and it would be fabulous. It would be absolutely fabulous. Sky's the limit. Sky is the limit when it comes to these little tins, okay? So it's a little wet on the front, but I'm just going to start it on the back with my hot glue. Make sure it's, I don't know if it's ready just yet. Okay, yeah, it's coming out. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bead there and get it started. I'm going to go around this a couple of times with this twine. This twine came from Dollar Tree. You don't have to get any fancy schmancy twine. They have this jute twine at Dollar Tree. I don't know about yours. I'm finding that not all the Dollar Trees carry all the same things, but at mine they have it. So check your Dollar Tree and see if they have it, because if you love vintage, you love primitive, you love farmhouse, shabby chic even, you will likely need this in your tool belt of crafting supplies. Just trying to make sure I get that on there. Cover up that blob. We've got a little blob going here. Not me throwing things. Oh, okay. There we go. Twisting and turning. Okay, let me show you what we've got going so far. So I'm just literally just wrapping it around with a bead of hot glue. Okay, good morning, Miss Patty. There we go. And that should be good. Let me just get back around to the back because I don't want to end in the front. That would not be good. That is not something I would want to do. Okay. Make sure you end it in the back, right around where that seam is. And let me find my scissors. And I'm just going to give that a good bead right there, like a solid, probably a little bit thicker than the rest of the, okay. So that's the bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to do another one at the top, another layer at the top. And I'm going to, again, start in the back where I've got that seam going. Give it a good little starting point there to really hold it on. I like to start out with just a little bit more than a light bead because I don't want it to pop off while I'm trying to get it to stick around this thing. The rest of it, we're just trying to hold it in place. I need to help take off that little red thread I've got going. I had this all mixed in with some fabric scraps, so I've got all kinds of little threads attached to it. Okay. And then the next layer, I'm going to go above the starting point because I want it to go up instead of coming down. That's where that little metal rim is. Where we cut that, or we cut the lid off to access our delicious hominy. Y'all, if you have not tried hominy casserole, let me know if you want the recipe. I got so many compliments on that recipe. And if y'all want it, I will give you the recipe. Hello, South Florida. Welcome. Is it cold in Florida right now? It is chilly here. It is in the 40s. It is wet. Whew, that got me. That hot glue got me. We went on Saturday because my husband had the foresight to check the forecast. And so we went on Saturday and got a round bale of hay for our horses because that is how horses stay warm in the colder weather. They have to have things digesting to keep them warm. Just the process of digestion keeps them warm. So we went and got them a giant round bale on Saturday. Praise God, because it would be so cold. So cold. 43. If the feels like it's 43. Okay. Great, Stacy. I will make sure and post that recipe. So that's how that's looking right now. We've got our luggage going. We've got our little mice going. 61 in South Georgia. Wow, okay. Your grandkids have never tasted hominy? Girl, we got to bring it back. Miss Cindy, we have to bring that back. We've got to bring back hominy. It is actually, hominy is an ancient food. Think of like Egypt and pyramids and all that. Like back in those days, people were eating hominy, soaking their dried corn in lye to create the hominy. So I've done a lot of research on it because I kind of want to try to make hominy out of corn. It's a very homesteader mindset, right? Anything you can buy at the store, I can probably spend $1,000. Yeah, like you can buy it for 50 cents at the store. I can spend $1,000 in ingredients and classes and all these things to make it myself. Just because I want to, just because I feel like I need to have that skill. Making how many? 40. Oh gosh, 16. Whew. 36. Oh my goodness, Miss Cindy. Cold. I believe I might have some lizard or dinosaur or something in me happening. Maybe I'm part alligator. I don't know. When it gets cold, I slow down. It makes it very hard for me to do things. All right, I've got 2 minutes left. Let me show you what's going to happen here. I've got all these little scraps of fabric. Not my sweet little tag. But I've got all these cute little, I don't want another red. I want some green in here. Green. I'm just going to do some red and green scraps. I've got a little bit of my red and white stripe going on. Okay. I'm just going to stick those in there. And that's going to hide the inside of my can. Don't need to go all crazy with the hot glue or anything. Whew. Especially since it wants to bite you every 2 seconds. My goodness. This hot glue is feisty this morning. Okay. All right. Now that is in there. Try not to let it get me again. Okay. So that's how we're hiding the inside of the can so we don't have to like paint and do all kinds of craziness. And then once these cookies are dry, I'm just going to layer them in here and hot glue them. And then I'm going to tuck this whole tin into my tree. And it's just going to, where's the front? Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of layer them in there. I'll have them sticking up more, and that's how that's going to look. All right. It is 12 o'clock noon now, so I have to run. Y'all, be sure and go back into Craft Around the Clock, refresh your page, and watch that next presenter, because I can guarantee they've got something fabulous planned. All right. You will not regret it. You will not regret it. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate y'all watching and interacting and being a great friend to me and my household. Thank you for making a homemade home with me today, guys. See you next time. Bye.